Hello everyone, I'm Kenshin. Welcome to Talking About History. Please take a moment to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Also, don't forget to turn on the notification bell. Thank you. Today's historical discussion is about the controversies surrounding Supreme Court justices in the United States. On April 6, 2023, a significant news story broke in the United States. ProPublica, a non-profit news media, reported that conservative Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas had been consistently using private planes and yachts provided by real estate billionaire and Republican donor Harlan Crow for luxurious vacations and free travels. Thomas allegedly failed to disclose these gifts in his annual financial reports, sparking controversy in Washington. According to ProPublica's report, Thomas enjoyed lavish trips to Indonesia, New Zealand, California, Texas, and Georgia as part of Crow's hospitality. Some of these travels included rides on Crow's super-luxury yacht or stays in properties owned by Crow or his company. It was also confirmed that Thomas had repeatedly flown on Crow's private planes, even though a trip in 1997 was publicly disclosed without mentioning Crow. Following the revelation, Senator Dick Durbin, chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee, pledged on April 6 to take action to strengthen ethical standards for the Supreme Court. Several Democratic lawmakers also called for legislation to regulate ethical standards for the Supreme Court. However, this is not the first scandal involving the U.S. Supreme Court. Today, I will review 5 major scandals in the history of the Supreme Court. John Rutledge, appointed by President George Washington in 1789, became the first and only justice to be dismissed from the court. In 1795, the Senate rejected his nomination, claiming he was mentally deranged. Rutledge, still grieving over his wife's death in 1792, gave a roaring speech on July 16, 1795, suggesting that Washington should die instead of signing the Jay Treaty with England. James Clerk McReynolds served on the Supreme Court from 1914 to 1941. Known for his unabashed anti-Semitism, he targeted African Americans, Germans, and women. McReynolds even left the room when Justice Louis Brandeis, a Jew, spoke. His views on Jews included derogatory statements, and he often referred to African Americans as ignorant, with little capacity for improvement. While Hugo Black was widely seen as a staunch supporter of civil liberties during his 34 years as a justice, he was once a member of the Ku Klux Klan, recruiting new members and taking an oath. When President Franklin D. Roosevelt appointed him to the Supreme Court in 1937, the revelation of Black's Klan history caused a political storm. Abe Fortas faced serious allegations of accepting bribes during his tenure as a Supreme Court justice. In 1969, it was revealed that he had accepted secret payments from notorious Wall Street financier Louis Wolfson. Despite Fortas's denial, he resigned on May 15, 1969, making him the first and only justice to resign under the threat of impeachment. In 1991, the confirmation hearings for Clarence Thomas became one of the most watched events on television. Anita Hill accused Thomas of sexual harassment during their time working together. Thomas vehemently denied the allegations, calling the hearings a circus and a national disgrace. Despite the controversy, Thomas was confirmed by the Senate. Moving back to the present, besides Thomas failing to disclose these gifts, both sides deny any wrongdoing. Thomas argues that he didn't need to disclose the information as they were intimate personal friends, which sounds less convincing. Notably, Crow is not the only wealthy conservative involved with Thomas. The New York Times reported his ties to the Federalist Society, an organization composed of wealthy conservatives. The society allegedly gifted Thomas with substantial items and allowed him to attend VIP sports events and parties. In addition, ProPublica reported that in 2008, Justice Samuel Alito flew on a private plane owned by hedge fund billionaire Paul Singer for a luxurious fishing trip to Alaska. Alito did not disclose this trip, and later, Singer filed a lawsuit before the Supreme Court. Moreover, in 2023, Politico reported that a law firm had purchased property co-owned by Justice Gorsuch, who is involved in multiple cases before the Supreme Court. The issue arises because Gorsuch did not disclose the buyer's identity. Apart from non-bribery related instances, Justice Sonia Sotomayor's assistant reportedly urged schools and libraries to purchase her books. Sotomayor's extensive writing career earned her $3.7 million since joining the court. In August 31, 2023, Thomas publicly disclosed in his annual financial report that he had taken 3 trips on Crow's private plane the previous year. Reports revealed a history of undisclosed expensive gifts from Crow, including international travel. Furthermore, Crow purchased the house where Thomas's mother resided in Georgia, and the Thomas's children's private school tuition for 2 years was covered by Crow. The Supreme Court justices operate without binding ethical guidelines, and they reject the idea of Congress imposing such rules on them. Former White House chief ethics lawyer Painter stated that if you travel for free on a private plane, you need to report it. He believes that the court needs its own ethics lawyers and inspectors general to investigate potential judicial misconduct. Another ethics expert, Stephen Gillers, commented that the failure to report privately sponsored plane travels has been a glaring omission in Thomas's reports. It's evident that judges are also human, but being in such a position requires higher moral standards. Unfortunately, some individuals seem to manipulate the law rather than respect it and their positions. This situation is not uncommon worldwide, illustrating inherent human flaws. If you like the program, you can share it with us by clicking like and subscribe. See you in the next episode.